Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and infinite glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Forgive me the spirit to do this lesson. Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father, Bahashem meaning in the name of, Yahweh Shai being the name of Yahweh's only begotten Son and our Lord and Savior, also who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, Bahashem Rakakwadash meaning in the name of the Holy Spirit. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and shalom to the hopeful elect that scatter abroad to the four corners of the earth, which are you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, the true biblical Israelites. And shalom to you speckled birds and you Israelite foreigners that scatter out in the other nations that look like the other nations but are, in fact, Israelites. And the topic of this lesson is going to be on integrity, all right? And, the Spirit hit me, to do a quick, lesson, dealing with the topic of integrity, all right? Because having integrity, in this truth, it's a must, all right? And I have the definition of the word integrity pulled up here on the screen, all right, on Google. And later on in this lesson, I'm gonna get the blue letter definition of it as well. But for now, let's read the Google definition of this word integrity. It says the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles, moral uprightness. All right. So when you're in this truth, you have to have strong moral principles. All right. Moral uprightness. All right. It's a must. And the scriptures tell you that. All right. Having integrity, is going to play a part, in your salvation. All right. Standing 10 toes down, no matter how, people think, what people think of you, all right? Not trimming your ways for other people and whatnot, all right? Because when you trim your ways for other people, that ultimately shows that, you don't have any integrity, all right? You care what people think, so, you just, you start trimming your ways, all right? And another aspect that you could look at it in is when you're catching hell, all right? When you start catching hell, you start, forsaking Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, all right? You forsake the truth, you forget about your morals, all right? You go back into the world, you start doing worldly things, all right? And that's not the way to be. That shows that you lack integrity, all right? And a good example that we could look at, when it comes to this topic is Job, all right? He's a great example to look at, when it comes to integrity, because we already know his situation. If you read the book of Job, you already know his situation. The Lord, let Satan, pretty much put him through different situations, to pretty much try his faith and whatnot. And despite all the trials and tribulations that Job went through, he did not, fold up under pressure. He did not forsake Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, all right? Job's wife even told him to curse the Most High and die, all right? And I'm gonna get all that later on in this lesson, but I'm just saying, that's a great example of, having integrity, all right? The scriptures tell us that the things are written aforetime are there for our learning. So we can look back at those type of examples and, apply them to ourselves, all right? In our day-to-day lives, all right? So through the Spirit, this is going to be a quick lesson, dealing with the topic of integrity, Lord willing, you brothers and you sisters out there are edified and exhorted, all right? So let's go to the blue letter. All right, I want to get Psalms chapter 25 to start off with. And we're going to start at verse 20. And it says, "Oh, keep my soul and deliver me. Let me not be ashamed, for I put my trust in thee." All right, this is David speaking. All right, King David. Verse 21, it says, let integrity and uprightness preserve me, for I wait on thee. All right. So integrity and uprightness, it will ultimately preserve you. All right. Which is why I said, having integrity, it plays a part, in your salvation. All right. Because Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, he's looking for those that are not going to trim their ways, for this world. All right. Or change their ways as soon as, trials and tribulations arise. You know what I'm saying? Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai wants those that have integrity. That's why when you read, the book of Second Esdras, when Esdras was having that vision, of the large multitude, he pretty much asked matter of fact, I don't want to butcher it. I'm gonna get it later on. But long story short, the question was asked, who are these? All right. And the angel pretty much was like, these are those that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord. All right. Meaning they pretty much had integrity. They didn't fold up under pressure, so on and so forth. All right. And I'm gonna get all that later on this lesson. I don't want to butcher it, but let's get the definition of this word, integrity right here in the blue letter. All right.
Strong's H 8537. Tome.
All right, so that's the Hebrew word for the word integrity. All right, so let's see what the outline of biblical usage is for this word. It says integrity, completeness, fullness, innocence, simplicity, integrity. It was a definition. I think they might have changed it. It says something else. Salakia. Yeah, it's not what I'm looking for, but you get the whole point. All right, we pretty much got the definition on Google and whatnot. All right, pretty much having strong morals. All right, so having strong morals and standing on those morals, despite whatever the case may be, that's gonna lead, to you being preserved. All right, being saved in these last days. All right, Yahweh Shem Yahushua is not looking for those that's gonna fold under pressure, in hard circumstances, or trim their ways because of what other people may think. All right, so on and so forth. So let's get Proverbs chapter 11. And let's read verse 3. It says, the integrity of the upright shall guide them, but the perverseness of transgressors shall destroy them. All right, so the integrity, it says the integrity of the upright shall guide them. All right, so again, showing you how important integrity is. It's important to have that. All right, if you don't have integrity, that's leaving you in a spot to ultimately be destroyed. All right, because like we just read, integrity is going to guide you. All right, let's get 2nd Ezra chapter 47. Let's go to the Apocrypha. All right, Second Ezra chapter 2 and verse 47. And it's going to show you how those that have integrity is ultimately going to be the ones that's delivered. All right, so this is 2nd Ezra chapter 2, and let's start at verse 42. All right, and it says, I Ezra saw upon the Mount Zion a great people whom I could not number, and they all praised the Lord with songs. Verse 43. And in the midst of them there was a young man of high stature, taller than all the rest, and upon every one of their heads he set crowns, and was more exalted, which I marvel at greatly. All right, and this young man, that's being spoken of, that was taller than the rest, that's talking about Yahweh Shai. All right, let's continue. Verse 44. It says, so I asked the angel and said, sir, what are these? All right, so like I said, Edris, he was asking, like, who are these people? This is what the angel was going to say. He said, he answered me, Slaki, he answered and said unto me, these be they that have put off the mortal clothing and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Now are they crowned and receive palms. All right, so this is talking about, ultimately, the elect. All right, the men, that's out here, prophesying, teaching, and preaching, standing in great boldness, and confessing the names of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right, they're going to receive crowns and palms. All right, meaning rewards. Verse 46, it says, then said I unto the angel, what young person is it that crowneth them and giveth them palms in their hands? Verse 47, it says, so he answered me and said unto me, it is the son of Yahweh, whom they have confessed in the world. Then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord. All right, so those men, All right, the elect stood stiffly for the name of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, right? Ultimately meaning they had integrity, all right? You know, despite all the trials and tribulations and the things they had to go through in this world, all right? People coming up against them, all right? You know, people thinking all different manner of things towards them. They stood stiffly for Yahweh Shem Yahushua, all right? You know, and now they're receiving crowns on their heads and palms in their hands. So ultimately, that shows you how important, you know, integrity is, all right? You know, if you want salvation, if you want to get that crown, if you want to get that reward, you know, you're going to have integrity, all right? You know, because integrity, it separates us from people in the world. People in the world, they don't have any integrity. And think back to the definition that we read. Integrity means strong morals, all right? People in the world, they don't have any type of morals, all right? They don't stand on any type of morals, all right? You know, but when you're in this truth, you know, you stand on morals and principles, all right? And the morals and principles that we stand on, you know, is these scriptures, all right? You know, the things that Yahweh Shem Yahushua told us to do, told us not to do, the law, statutes, commandments, you know, having faith, so on and so forth, all right? These are our morals that we stand on, all right? So let's get Jeremiah chapter 2 and verse 33, all right? And this is going back to what I said earlier. You know, having morals, you know, when you have morals, you know, or Salakia, when you have integrity, you know, you're not going to trim your ways to seek love, all right? You're not going to trim your ways to seek validation, you know, from the world, all right? Because you have a lot of people that are ashamed of this truth, all right? And they change their ways, you know, because of how people may look at them, all right, so on and so forth. They don't want to speak too much on the truth because, you know, they know they'll get backlash and whatnot. You know, people will look at them funny. You know, you may get dislikes, so on and so forth. That's not having integrity. So this is Jeremiah chapter 2 and verse 33. And it says, why trimmest thou thy way to seek love? Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways. All right. So why trim your ways to seek love? When you trim your ways, meaning you change your ways, you know, that's not having integrity. All right. A person with integrity, you know, is going to stand 10 toes down, you know, on what they believe, despite what the next person may think, what they feel, so on and so forth. All right. You know, and that's what Yahweh Shem Yahushua is looking for. All right. And he's paying very close attention. He's paying very close attention. All right. You know, you don't want to be found, you know, you want to be found without spot and blame in that day, you know, when Yahushua returns. You know, he's paying very close attention to those who had integrity and to those who trimmed their ways for, you know, the world and how, you know, people may look at them. You know what I'm saying? So now let's get the account of Job. Now, this is going into, you know, the part where I talked about, you know, trials and tribulations. All right. You know, a lot of times people, you know, they don't hold on to their integrity because different trials and tribulations may arise. All right. So this is a great example to look at, you know, when, you know, you may be catching hell. All right. Whatever the case may be. So this is Job chapter 2, and we're going to start at verse 7. And it says, so went Satan forth from the presence of the Lord and smote. Matter of fact, let's start at verse 1. All right, let's start at verse 1. It says, again, there was a day when the sons of Yahweh came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them to present himself before the Lord. And the Lord said unto Satan, from whence comest thou? And Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down it. All right. So, you know, Satan, he's always busy. He's going up to and fro in the earth, you know, seeking whom he may devour. All right. That's what he does. The scriptures, there's another scripture that says that. But that's what Satan does. He goes to and fro through the earth, you know, seeking whom he may devour. All right. He's trying to cause you to stumble, you know, cause you to go off. All right. The same way that he did Job. And you're about to see that. Verse 3, it says, and the Lord said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man. All right. And that was like one of the definitions for the word integrity. All right. Being upright, you know. Let's continue. It says, one that feareth Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua and escheweth evil, and still he holdeth fast his integrity. All right. Although thou movest me against him to destroy him without cause. All right. So Job, he had, integrity. All right. So this is what's going to happen. Satan, he's going to try to prove to the Lord that, say that Job, he doesn't have integrity. He's going to fold up this, that, and another. All right. So let's continue. It says, Satan answered the Lord and said, skin for skin. Yeah, all that a man hath will he give for his life. But forth thine hand now and touch his bone and his flesh, he will curse thee to thy face. So Satan is pretty much saying that, Job, he's going to eventually curse you. All right. Satan, he's trying to, he's about to try to test Job to try to prove to the Lord that Job will eventually curse him. All right. Or forsake Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right. Verse 6, it says, and the Lord said unto Satan, behold, he is in thine hand, but save his life. All right. So the Lord said, all right, do what you do, but don't kill him. All right. So verse 7, it says, so went Satan forth from the presence of the Lord and smote Job with sore boils from the sole of his foot unto his crown. All right. So Job, he pretty much got boils all throughout his body, from the sole of his foot all the way to his head. Verse 8, and it says, and he took him a potsherd to scrape himself withal, and he sat down among the ashes. Verse 9. All right, now this is the point. We're getting into the point. It says, then said his wife unto him, dost thou still retain thine integrity? Curse Yahweh and die. All right, so this is what, Job's wife, told him. All right, and that's wicked as hell. Verse 10, it says, but he said unto her, thou speakest as one of the foolish women speaketh. What? Shall we receive good at the hand of Yahweh, and shall we not receive evil? And all this did not Job sin with his lips. All right, so Job, he already knew that, when you serving Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, you're not only going to receive good, but you're going to receive evil as well. All right, you're going to catch hell as well. So, Job, he already knew what was going on. So because of that, he did not curse the Lord with his lips. All right. And ultimately, he held his integrity. All right. So this, like I said, this is a great example of holding your integrity despite, whatever you're going through, whatever the case may be. All right. And Job, he was considered, a perfect and upright man, like we read earlier. So I want to end off with Ecclesiastes chapter 2. All right. Many of you probably already know about it, but this is for you newer brothers and you newer sisters. All right. When you come to serve the Lord, you're going to face temptation. All right. Temptation meaning, different trials and tribulations or whatever the case may be. All right. But during that, that process, all right, that refining process, because that's what it really is. When you go through trials and tribulations, you're being refined. So when you're going through that refining process, you're not supposed to go aside. All right. Meaning you're not supposed to lose your integrity. And the scriptures are going to tell you that. So let's start at Ecclesiastes chapter 2 and verse 1. It says, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. All right. Trials and tribulations. Verse 2, set thy heart aright and constantly endure and make not haste in the time, Salakia, in time of trouble. All right. Constantly endure and don't make haste in the time of trouble. All right. Don't fold under pressure. Don't, give up or, don't give up your integrity, so to speak. All right. Verse 3, it says, cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. All right. And when you read the whole story of Job, that's ultimately what happened to him. He held on to his integrity. He endured. And, he pretty much, was increased at his latter end. All right. Everything that he lost, he got it back. All right. He lost his family and whatnot. He got that back, so on and so forth. He had lost his, I believe his different cattle and all that. He got that back. So it's the same way with us. Whenever we dealing with whatever we dealing with, we gotta cleave unto Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, until we're increased at that latter end. All right, because the Lord, when he see that you're enduring and you're not folding under pressure, he's gonna increase you, in due time. Verse 4, it says, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient without art changed to a lower state. All right, you got to be patient, meaning suffer. All right, part is truth means suffering. You got to suffer. You cannot just skate through this truth and act, just float through this truth and get onto a chariot. It's not like that. You're going to have to go through different hurdles, go over different hurdles. All right. You know, it says, verse 5, it says, for gold is tried in the fire and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. All right. So in order to be acceptable in the eyesight of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, you're going to have to be tried. All right. You're going to have to be in the midst of that fire being the trials and tribulations. All right. Verse 6, it says, believe in him and he will help thee. Order thy way aright and trust in him. Now, verse 7 is the whole point. All right. It says, ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy and go not aside, lest ye fall. All right. All right. And when you go aside, that ultimately means, you let go of your integrity. All right. In Job, he did not go aside. He kept, enduring, because if you let go of your integrity, all right, go aside, like we just read, you're going to fall. All right. Meaning you're ultimately going to be destroyed. So that goes full circle all the way back to Psalms chapter 25, and 21, where it talked about let integrity and uprightness preserve me. All right. In Proverbs chapter 11, where it talked about how the integrity of the upright shall guide them. All right. If you hold on to your integrity, you're going to be preserved. You're going to be guided. But if you go aside, meaning if you let go of your integrity, you're ultimately going to fall. All right. To your destruction. So with that, Lord willing, this quick lesson was edifying, and exhorting to you brothers and you sisters out there that scattered to the four corners of the earth. And as always, I want to give all praises, honor, and infinite glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Forgive me the spirit to do this lesson. Double honors to the elders and apostles of a great millstone, and shalom to you brothers that's out there pushing this truth and sincerity. Shalom.